Okay, just getting ready to get moving here. Hopefully my sound is doing okay. Hopefully the sun, it's so beautiful out. I want to be outside on my back porch. I don't think anybody's on with us yet. Just we'll wait another minute or two and then we'll get started. The only equipment we need today is a golf club and a chair and a piece of wall. So as long as you have all of those, you're good to go. Testing, testing. Watching my son play outside, it's kind of fun. He's just about 13.
You said you didn't want me to.
Yeah. Why?
Well, I was just wondering, I was watching, just when you walk, the deflection of the
Oh,
screen.
I don't think I can do anything. Are you watching it?
No, it's just.
Oh. Yeah. Well, that's why I have it jimmy rigged with that weight and trying to push it so that it's angle, but I don't have a tripod, so that's, or a stand, so that's what the issue is. But I think we're almost at 10 o'clock. We'll give it another minute and then we'll get started. Well, I see one person online. Dad, is that you? All right, 10 o'clock on the dot. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. This is brought to you by Active Health Solutions and British Columbia Golf. And I do some work with them with their junior development squad through my position here at the College of New Caledonia in Prince George. So I work with them with their nutrition and recovery. I helped out at the last camp with the fitness instructor. But my passion is with this kind of stuff. It's called prehab. It's for our golf injuries, just making sure that we're staying healthy for golf season. So this is a 30-minute, quick, easy fitness. We're calling it Front Nine Fitness, geared for, well, everybody, but it'll be very gentle and very safe for especially our older golfers. So thank you. We're going to do some strength. We're going to start with some mobility. But first of all, you should know you need to work at your own pace. You need to work at your own level, and you need to be safe. And especially when we're getting up and down from things like the chair. Hey, Deb, up and down from the chair. Really be careful that your blood pressure doesn't change, because when we have movements like that, especially medication that we're on, blood pressure medication, or our blood pressure reacts because of other medication we're on, just be mindful, do it slowly, come in and out of exercises nice and slowly. So I'm coming to you live from Prince George. It's about 6 degrees in our backyard. So that's why I thought this was a much nicer location. And we're going to get started here. And just thanks again to British Columbia Golf for the partnership. So we're going to start with weed pulls. Here we go. Reach down all the way up. I'm going to do 6 of these on each side. 4, 5, 6. Let's switch sides. Now, one thing you'll learn about me very quickly, I can't count. I get talking and distracted, and it's terrible. So we just sort of do them till we change and get tired. That sounds like me. All right, let's turn. Now you're going to turn sideways, and you're going to push up, really stretch through that back foot, and then come back down, elbows squeeze together. Beautiful sunny day, blue sky. Here in Prince George. All right, this next one is a lunge. You're going to lunge and then row back. And you're still on that same side. Last one. Now this time, sink it on back. So I want you to activate, you have a couple muscles back here, your hamstring and your glute. Activate and then tap that toe. So that's what it's going to look like. You're sinking back, tap, tap, tap. This is warming up. I'm just going to check the comments. I hope the volume and the sound is okay today. Okay, so now you've moved from this position. Feet go out 45 degrees this way. We're going to go down, up. So even if you want to go here, an overhead press. So this is a plie squat. Up we go. Now we want to keep our backs nice and flat, and we want to keep our knees sort of pointed out away from us, externally rotated. Switch and go the other direction. Up. And pull it back. So just by doing that little adjustment, you should be now on both sides. Up, sink it on back. Again, working at your own pace, working at your own level. And when we do 6 and you can manage 3 or 4, that's great. Every little bit counts, getting us ready for golf season. Now switch it to that lunge again. We're going to go lunge, row it back. Couple more here. All right, last one. We're going to sink it back again. Activate your glute, your bum, the backs of your legs, your hamstrings, and tap, tap, tap it out. Okay, now keep going with our dynamic warm-up. Now this is going to get very fatiguing in our shoulders very quickly. So again, work at your own pace. So hands on your shoulders, and we're going to start with some small circles here. Now go the other direction. Wait, I had to think about which way I just did. And thumbs pointing up, and we're going to go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then to the side. So now we're letter T. 1, 2, 3, 4. And still with those thumbs, you're going to go and feel like they're poking together, and then you're going to lift. 2, 3. Now, when we do this, even if you're, this is your range of motion, this is your range of motion, and you're not getting all the way back, and same within the back, right? I have pretty good shoulder mobility because I work on this a lot. And if you're not getting back that far, that's okay. No problem. Roll, shake, roll those out. All right, hands together. This is for wrist mobility. So first of all, give them a squeeze. Push them together. Push, push, push in this prayer position. Then we're going to open your book. So pretend you're opening your book all the way through. Now palms are back to back. Sweep it all the way around and close your book. Okay, let's do that a few times. Open your book all the way through. Whoops. Hopefully I don't bug the microphone. Open, sweep, back to back, close your book. Let's do one more time. Okay, now this is when you're going to need to grab your chair. And I'm going to, hopefully you're able to see this in my frame. I've got a few, what am I doing here? Phew, I've got my cheat sheet on the side so that I can get everything in. So hopefully with the camera angles, of course, as this is a one-person operation. So hands down, nice flat back. You're in a tabletop position. We're going to continue with our wrist mobility, and we're going to just do some circles. Other direction. And what I've seen from teaching all winter is that wrist mobility for our golfers as they age gets to be smaller and smaller range of motion and more pain. So we do a lot of wrist stuff at the studio. Okay, so now we're going to switch it to the cat-cow. So what you want to do is arch your back, send it towards the sky, drop your head down. Okay, and then all the way through. All right, this is called a cat and a cow. Drop that head, arch your back, and all the way through. Cat, cow. And then building on that, let's do crazy cat, in which we go sideways. And you want to push that hip out both directions. So you're going to feel it in your side body, kind of the top of that hip and up your side. Going slow. This is our dynamic warm-up. Nothing gets pulled, nothing gets injured. And these ones are good on the first tee. Get over to the bench and do this on the first tee. Work your back in funny directions. All right, let's do some shoulder blade push-ups. So arms extended, you're going to drop your chest towards your hands and push. So it's just the shoulder blades that are moving down, moving around. And we're going to start with a little bit of rotation now. So, hand in the middle of the chair, you're going to sweep it up and tuck it on through. They don't have to be fast. You can make them fast if you like. And as we work through these weeks, we're going to keep building on some of these exercises. Last one, switch sides. Flip your chair around, okay, so that you can work on the other side. First thing, now that we have a new position here for that chair, is with your foot about 6 inches apart. We've done these a lot every day. Now, just be a little mindful that when you're kind of coming forward, you don't want to push your chair. But this is all in the ankle. So as you're bending that knee towards the back of your chair, I want your ankle to stay flat on the ground. A lot of people have ankle mobility. It's like small little tweaks because we've rolled our ankles over the years and whatnot. And so if we can keep good range of motion, then we can really take rips at, especially very uneven lies. Okay, switch sides. We can take the rip at the ball, but you need a really good base of support to do that. So keeping that ankle flat, or keeping the foot flat on the floor. Press, press, press. Just moving, pushing your knee towards the back of the chair. Okay, let's toes down, heels pop up. Ankle raises. I'm just going to check and see the comments here. Keep going, keep going. A few people on, nobody's whining and complaining about my sound, so I appreciate that. Thanks, welcome, thanks for joining me. A few more. Okay, and now switch it to a hip list. So we did these the other day. The leg, one leg stays grounded and extended, and the other one, the hip just is going to pull straight up. And lots of people just like to do it with a bent leg, but I want you to do it with a straight leg and really feel your pelvis. Move, move. This one's a good one. Many of us with these pelvic tilts and things like that, it's just sitting. We're so inactive in our chairs these days. Switch sides. And so our pelvis doesn't move this way. We kind of just sit in this sort of position, and our bums were rounded this way. And so we're going to work on the pelvic tilt next and really make sure that we've got some posterior and anterior pelvic rotation. All right, this next one is for the little muscles on the sides of our bums here. Okay, so standing on one foot, and you need to go outwards, okay? So out, in, and then push. Out, in, push. And when you do that push and raise it up, you're going to feel that little muscle. I probably did that backwards. Out, in, push. That little muscle on the side activating. Push. Okay, now let's just do a few raises on the side. And let's switch sides. So if you want to spin around, you can. I'm going to just switch sides here. What do we start with? Oh yeah, in. Push. Grow is out. I don't know if you can hear it, but last one, and then we'll just do a few straight pushes here. Okay, oh, I can feel that. And both of them, the one creating the stability and the one doing the work. All right, more of these needed, obviously. Okay, pelvic tilts. So the pelvic tilts, we're going to get into our long iron swing. So imagine you've got a long iron in your hand. You've got your 5 iron or your hybrid. Get into your long iron swing here. Hopefully I can do it without banging my mic. And you're going to get an exaggerated position, pelvic tilt. So here's your long iron swing, cross over, and then work on that pelvic tilt. Oh, I've never learned to do these without wiggling and shaking. Take breaks when you need it. Oh, goodness. All right, how's everybody doing? I think we got a few people on, so that's good. An exercise I want to do on the wall before we grab our golf club. So the last one here on the wall. So shoulder right up against the wall, facing sideways, and you can do it with feet staying together, or if you want a little bit more resistance, you stagger the outside foot, not the foot closest to the wall. So nice and close to the wall. I'm going to stagger a little bit. And then I always say, come into an alligator position. So hands together at shoulder length. Now you're going to sweep and draw a big circle on the wall with the outside hand. Big circle on the wall. And we're going to open, open, open. Now, ideally you can keep, I'm just barely touching. And you get into a letter T here. But if it pops out, that's okay. And then we sweep it around and right back to the beginning. So we call them sweeps, but I don't know. All the way around. Up, and this time we're going to hold it, open, letter T. So we tried by staggering our feet to lock our hips forward, and now we're doing thoracic spine mobility, and I was just catching myself holding my breath. One more, big one. Sweep, sweep, breathe, 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 all the way open. Okay, switch sides. All right, I'm going to stagger, but again, you can keep those feet. Shoulder on the wall, arm up, around we go, around the horn, letter T, and sweep. Now you can do these on the floor. We lay on our sides and do them. And again, you stagger the front foot. That's going to give you way more resistance than the wall. So that's an example of working. Let's hold this next one, working at your own level. Hold. Okay, breathe. Now hopefully your shoulder hasn't popped up and you can kind of keep it open, keep it down and through. Let's do one more. Sweep. Okay, whew. I was holding my breath there because that's a hard one. Great, as you're working through your middle of your chest, your thoracic spine, that's, in the middle of your back there. So grab your golf club. Now next class on Tuesday, I'm going to ask you if if you don't have a short enough club, if you're working in your house, right, because we're going to be doing some swings, and if you use your golf club, you're probably going to take out your ceiling. But start with an overhead and just start to reach it on back, increasing your pec mobility. So yeah, next week, if you don't have a short club, you can use a stick or a spatula or a wooden spoon, or if you're like me and can swing outside, you know, I can use my full club, but I'll make sure that I've got my wooden spoon, because we're going to be doing some swings to work on club head speed. Okay, so moving through range of motion here. And again, if this is what the range of motion, I can get my club all the way back here. But a lot of people we work with, right, this is where they end up because their shoulders are so rounded. So that we're just stretching you back out. And for all of us sitting at desks, my day job is I've been teaching online at the college. And let's go here now, up, down. And so I'm just logging so many hours, and I just find my head poked forward and my shoulders rounded. And so all of these are designed to open me back up. So we're internal, external rotation in a different plane of movement. Okay, and then we're going to come underneath. We're going to work again in a different plane. So this is external rotation, palms up, 90-degree shoulder, or elbow, pardon me. Okay, let's switch it to a hinge, straight down. Okay, you're activating those hamstrings again, and it's like where gravity just wants to take that club. And I want you to sink back, start through your heels, backs and necks, nice and neutral, nice and flat. We don't want to do this. We want to just pull it down. Now, if this is it for range of motion, that's good, because if you're feeling it, you're at the ends of your limit in terms of your hamstring range of motion. We'll work on it. It'll come. Right? We'll go around behind, and let's do a few squeezes here with that golf club. I wanted to see. I don't have a way to check my time. That's a problem for me. I always take things way too long. They drag on. Too much talking, blah, blah. All right, and let's do our pyramid lunge. So 1 foot forward and the club on the same side. And we're just going to do a few stretches. For that hip flexor, and then up and over. And you can keep that moving a little bit. Use your club for balance if you need it. Okay, switch sides, step back, switch sides with that club. Hey Sandra, see my dad's on, Chipper, Tuppy, even Debbie from British Columbia Golf, thank you. And up and tip it over. Now by doing this, you should really feel it. It's a deep in the core, deep in that psoas. All right, up out of it. And now with a nice wide grip, let's do some wide grip swings. Our back should be nice and warmed up. Rotation, fully sorted out, and get right up onto that follow-through side. Imagine you're on the first tee of your golf course. Ours is a par 5, well for me, par 4. Long hole anyways. Switch sides. Imagine you're going the other direction. Oh, this one's a little tougher for me. Range of motion isn't as good. Coordination isn't as good. Okay, last couple here on the opposite side. And relax. Okay, so plopping that club, plopping it down. Now we're going to start with our 4 exercises here. The first one, nice wide stance. We're going to do a plie squat. So you've got 12 or 15 of these. Now, if you want to make it a little more gung-ho, grab a weight, grab a kettlebell. If you have those things at home, grab a backpack, throw a few books in there. But what I want you to do, feet are 45 degrees, and when you sink down, our postures are nice and tall, and our knees track in line with our feet. again, I lost count. I always do. Let's do one more. All right, next exercise is called a rainbow push-up. We're going to do it. I would encourage you to do it on the wall because this one's, it's an offset push-up and it's very difficult on the floor. But if you want to go on the floor, off your knees, off your toes, you do it. So hands are a bit wider apart and they're at shoulder height. And what you're going to imagine you do is a rainbow, and you're going to push up on one side and then come across and push up on the other side. Okay, so here we go. And again, if that is challenging, you just bring your feet closer to the wall. If you need more resistance, you wiggle them further away. Again, I've lost count. So ideally you'd get 24. So you'd have 12 on either side. So you count a right and a left as one. So I have no idea. Let's do 2 more on either side. 1 and 2. Okay, so those are our rainbow push-ups. Feeling those. Back to the chair. Grab your chair. This is a single leg bicycle, and you're going to do 12 on either side. So come to the front of your chair with your bum, front of your chair. You want to lean back, and you're going to extend one leg, okay? And then it's lost connection. Hopefully it's going to work. Two more. Switch sides. Okay, all on the same side, so we're not switching sides. 4. Now, as a reminder, you could do that exercise if you had a mat or a towel on the floor, and that's just a bicycle on the floor. So if you want to give yourself a little bit more resistance, then move it down onto the floor. Last one is a glute press back. You're going to create a degree angle at the knee, and you're going to just press straight back like you're kicking a wall. And I want you to activate your glute, which is your big bum muscle, the main one, in your behind. And it's also going to feed up into the long muscles of the back, which again are so important for maintaining our golf posture. Switch sides. Again, 90-degree, foot flat, push the wall. Nice to be outside. Let's do one more. Actually, 2 more. I lied. There we go. So that's our 4 exercises. So if you want to do another set afterwards of those, go for it. I implore you. So it was the plie squat, the rainbow push-ups on the wall, the single leg bicycle or the bicycle on the floor, and the glute press back. Last thing that I wanted to do, and it's going to be a little tricky to show you, but really it's about standing safely. So put your chair in front of you if you want, and I want you to just balance on one foot, okay? Activate your core, work on your balance, focus on a point. We really work a lot on balance in our studio, and we find, you know, as we age, this is a real interesting cause, and people don't realize that their balance has gotten kind of, or has deteriorated over the years. Now, if that's too easy, kick your foot forward, lean back a little. That's why it's nice to have the chair there, and change your gaze to look up. Okay? And release. Switch sides. We do a lot of work on balance. And I have, this side is just dodgier for some reason. Okay, hold. Now, if you have a wobble, start again. Just find your balance, tuck it up, tuck that leg up. Okay, those of you that do yoga, these poses, no problem. And if that's too easy, kick it forward, lean back again, and look up. We even have a foam balance beam in our studio, and we throw it in daily, and people walk across it. We put it next to the wall because it's amazing. It gets better over time, but when we first start, it's really not good. All right, grab your chair. How's my time? I have a couple seconds left, 2 minutes left to stretch. Next class though, if you have a spoon, a spatula, a barbecue flipper, anything like that, if you don't have a golf club or something that's going to work in your house, if you're doing these exercises in your house. So first of all, let's hands underneath our chair. Let's stretch our necks. You're going to find some sticky parts, knots and lumps and things like that. So settle into it and stretch through it, and then shift your position. Okay, and reach up and over, side bend here. And switch sides, up and over. So thanks again to British Columbia Golf for the partnership with Active Health Solutions. We do these kinds of classes. I do about 6 of them a week, but we end up with a circuit, so not just the 4 exercises. Our classes are about an hour, and I approached my good friend Debbie at British Columbia Golf, and she said, you know what, this would be good while we're all stuck inside. So that's how this was hatched. Leg extended, toe up, pop that toe up and come forward. So we did lots of hamstring stuff, and I want you to not hunch and bend forward with a rounded back, but with a nice flat back. Release, cross it over, externally rotate that knee, nice tall posture, and then again come a little bit forward. And release. Let's switch sides. Extends out on the other side, toe pops up. Here we go, bend forward. Oh, I hope it stays like this. We still have about 2 feet of snow on our front lawn, so I know the golf course is getting a little melted, but it'll probably still be a couple more weeks if they can get all their regulations. I've seen some emails bouncing around. Cross it over, externally rotate that knee, nice tall bodies, and come forward. I've seen a few emails about circulating in Alberta and British Columbia about how to reopen safely. And for us in the north, not reopen, it's open for the season, because like I said, we still have a lot of snow, but we're getting excited. And release. Let's turn. So prop up on the chair into a lunge position. Again, nice tall bodies. If that's not enough, you're going to have to bring your posture up so that you can really dig in. And with so much sitting, I tell you, every time we sit, this hip flexor just gets shorter and shorter. That's why when we open it back up, it just feels so good. And I think next week too, hopefully people have like a lanyard for your keys. Everyone will have a hand towel or a dish towel. Full extension here, nice tall bodies, because I like creating a little bit of isometric tension when we work on our shoulders. So that's when we have a lot of those loop bands in the studio, and they're really good exercises. So I know not everyone has them lying around the house. rotation. I have my lesson plan, but sometimes I like to think I've done this a zillion times, I can just wing it. But I really can't. And a hand on the outside of that knee. Let's do one last rotation, one last spinal twist here. And switch. So this is, I think, 1, 2, 3, third video online. So if you're just joining us today for the first time and you're looking, for the weekend, maybe something on Saturday or Sunday, because we're going again here live on Tuesday, go back and watch some of those. They're all a little bit different. They're the same similar kind of format, but with a lot of variation in there. So you're going to get lots of good ideas in there for your golf swing and your golf season. So press, drop your head, push forward, raise it on up, 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 up. Open cactus arms. Let's do that one more time. Up and open. Thanks everyone for joining. Feel free to send questions or comments. We'd love to hear from you. And again, thank you. This is a partnership made possible by British Columbia Golf, and I'm happy to work with them on their coaching staff for their development program, and now looking at ideas for this Front 9 Fitness. So we'll see you on Tuesday. Thanks everyone.